Hola, ¿cómo están, my compañeros? The Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services has issued this blanket waiver that was signed by the executive branch. This is a blanket waiver that waives rules, responsibilities, and obligations of healthcare facilities in order to maintain their licensure. If you've ever been a patient in a hospital, one of the very first things you see is the patient's Bill of Rights. This waiver consists of a number of different other portions, but one of the portions I found most interesting is the one that concerns itself with patients' rights. This CMS is waiving under 42 CFR 482.13 only for hospitals that are considered to be impacted by a widespread outbreak of COVID-19, hospitals that are located in a state which has a widespread confirmed case, that is 51 or more cases, as updated on the CDC website. So for any city that has found themselves with that label, that's a self-identifying label too, I will get into later. That's whoever wants to be that can be that. The government will let you be that. So these waivers have to do with respects to a time frame in providing a copy of your medical records to you. There's a waiver related to a patient's visitation, including the requirements to have written policies and procedures on visitation of patients who are in a COVID-19 isolation and quarantine process. That's the patient's Bill of Rights. You know, if you've ever been in a psych facility or have ever been in an inpatient facility, they have the patient's Bill of Rights, and that is what tells you what's going on. So you can imagine yourself in an isolation ward for quote-unquote COVID-19, and they don't even have any rules or obligations or anything around you. You don't even know what's going on. The worst part about this waiver is 482.13 Echo 1 Roman numeral 2 regarding seclusion. There will be a waiver regarding seclusion. This rule right here in the rule book, it says that in order for a person to be secluded, they must be violent. And what they're doing is they're changing that. They're changing that. Instead of a person being violent, it's just under doctor's orders, right under here under Echo 1, and then we'll come to the double seclusion, under seclusion. So this is 482.13 Echo 1 Roman numeral 2. Seclusion is the involuntary confinement of a patient alone in a room or area from which the patient is physically prevented from leaving. Seclusion may only be used for the management of violent or self-destructive behavior. That has been waived. Seclusion can now be used for any COVID-19 quote-unquote situation. I'm going to make some videos later that really underline the diagnostic requirements for COVID-19, and it will show you that it's not like Zika, it's not like HIV. There's a whole different standard for COVID-19, and all it is the word of the doctor. So if the doctor is willing to take part in the graft, then he is set up. He's sitting pretty. He's as important as a politician now. The thing about these waivers right here is please go into them. Please go into what is underlined. Oh, one of the worst ones, I apologize, I almost forgot it. The reporting requirements, right above patients' rights here on this page, reporting requirements. There is a reporting requirement that says, which requires that the hospital report patients in an intensive care unit whose death is caused by their disease, but who required soft wrist restraints to prevent pulling tubes and IVs, no later than the close of business on the next business day. That's saying they are waiving the responsibility of intensive care units to report whether or not the person was strapped to their bed when they died. They don't have to tell you anymore whether or not the person was strapped to their bed. If they died from their disease, quote unquote COVID-19, while they were strapped to the bed, then you do not have to report the soft wrist restraints. But it says due to current hospital surge. That's why they're saying, oh, we don't have time to tell you all the people that we've tied to the bed. CMS is waiving this requirement to ensure that hospitals are focusing on increased patient care demands, so tying more people to the bed, and increased patient census, which means not telling that they're tying people to bed, but just telling them that they died from COVID-19. Provided any death where the restraints may have contributed is still reported within the standard time frame. Okay, so if the restraints did cause it, then they would tell. Oh wait, no, let's go back up to the top where it says whose death is caused by their disease. So all the caretaker has to say is, oh, he died from COVID-19. He didn't die from the straps to the bed. So think about this. Your rights as a patient to be informed of your rights have been waived. Your rights as a patient to not be secluded if you're nonviolent, have been waived. Your rights as a patient for your family members to know that you were tied to the bed when you died have been waived. Please take the time to assess this waiver. I'll be back.